Yes, gang. I hope you're well. So, catching up on Slee Raw's Operation Skinny Slee's check-in for this week. And we're starting off with the big but little back double buy. How has this week gone? Shit. Do you know what? It's been a funny one this week. I think this week has probably been the hardest week for me since everything that happened at the start of the year with my heart and the sort of change in direction. This week's been very, very turbulent in terms of emotions, I think, and the whole idea of this is to be honest and open and obviously let you know where I am. And yeah, it hasn't been the best, I can't lie. But nonetheless, we'll go through that in a little bit. Let's get stuck into the visuals, and we'll have a look at sort of some of the data capture for this week and explain what we're going to be doing moving forward. So, back double by. Next. Side chest. Like you guys don't know what these poses are anyway. Oh! On the old vacuum Slee. Go on the boy. Trying really hard, smiling. My fucking hair is a disaster. I need to do something with the old barnet. So this week, definitely tighter. Like I am, no question whatsoever. Conditioning is definitely improving and coming in from all angles. To be fair, I'm still holding a relatively decent amount of sort of fullness. Although I don't feel it, I've still got a relatively half decent amount of pop. It's not quite the same, if I'm honest. But yeah, so in terms of my shoulder, looks really fucking hitched up there. I hate that. But yeah, in terms of where we are, I'm relatively pleased with the look this week. We've lost 0.75 on average this week, and I've had a cheat meal every week. Look at me just lifestyling it up. Do you know what I mean? Like I am the typical progressing lifestyle client at this very moment in time. I can lose weight and I can have a cheat meal every week. So there you go. So yeah, we're 0.75, 0.74 on average down on the scales this week. I hit a bit of a low at the beginning of this week, and I don't know whether it was because I absolutely fucking obliterated legs on Monday and it just sent me spiraling down through the ground. Absolutely just buried me, or whether it was just, I don't really know, to be fair. Motivation this week has been a little bit lower. Me and Mads have talked about potential deload and taking a step away from training, and my understanding and tolerance of how I sort of tend to respond. And obviously individuals do change, we do develop and we do change, so that sort of responsiveness and and that sort of sensitivity does change to different stimuluses over time, certainly obviously post the start of the year. But my argument was, well, normally I can tend to run this amount of sort of volume. I am stronger pretty much across the board than what I've ever been, but I can generally sort of run a training block for 6-7 weeks before I need to take a step back. So to be 3 weeks into it, I'm like, I'm just not buying that. I think a lot of it is mental, like where the mind goes, the body will follow. And this week I have been on a little bit of a downer. I think for me it's been like, even with motivations train just coming down, I haven't really liked the look of the gym. I had a fantastic session with H today, and it was great to see him doing his thing. I'm like living my life vicariously through him at the moment, and the rest of my bodybuilders. I'm like win. But yeah, I think, and I think you'll all understand this. Certainly, more or less advanced guys potentially, and I don't want to be rude in saying that, but the reality is I the higher level assisted guys don't really feel like how I'm about to explain, certainly in a fat loss phase, because they have got assistance and an enormous amount of muscular maturity, and also they're in a position where their composition potentially doesn't slip as much as other people. But in a dieting phase, I always used to break down like 3 phases, and I am in like no man's land at the moment. Although, like aesthetically, from a composition standpoint, you could potentially say I'm actually in a relatively good spot for losing the best part of like a kilo a week or 3/4 of a kilo a week. But I'm no longer 120 kilos and full to the brim, and I'm also not 100 108, 105, like fucking lean, like very fucking lean. So I'm just tinkering on like right in the middle. I don't feel massive, I don't feel ripped, and what I have noticed from obviously lack and complete lack of androgen exposure, if I'm honest guys, is I don't hold any fullness like at all. When I train, I look relatively good, but I take a step out of the gym, and I am in a deficit. So obviously I have to appreciate that flatness brings condition, but I don't hold any fullness like day to day unless I am in the gym. I feel like a fucking maggot. And I'm 130, I was 114.1 this morning, but I'm sitting around 114, 113 kilos. I'm not a small guy, but to live at 120 is a different feeling altogether. The way that clothes fit you, the way that you feel in general. Although we've all got major body dysmorphia, and if I was 130 kilos, I'd probably still tell you I was small. But yeah, that's been the reality for me this week. So that's been a huge hurdle for me to overcome, and with a couple of quite fucking harsh words or bollockings from Mads, realigning why I'm doing this and the situation I am in, and the fact that I need to be grateful for the situation I'm in as opposed to anything else, which is very, very much true, but it has been a harsh reality to face, I think, and something that has been progressive. So I'm very much in the case of like, now I feel like the only way that I potentially may feel better is by continuing to get leaner, so I can just feel a little bit better in my own skin. Because as I said, I just feel like I'm in no man's land at the moment. I'm not the biggest guy. Appreciate there are other big guys out there, but I don't feel like the biggest guy. I'm not shredded. So dropping down, I think in and around like sub 110, I feel a lot better in myself, because at least then I would have a stronger level of conditioning. But that will be the reality. Like if we continue to move forward the way that we are, then we should be in a good spot. So in terms of changes last week and what we're going to look at this week, this is a big learning curve for you all, I think. Something to take away for the many millions watching this check-in update from Slee Raw. Last week, the changes that I simply made, so I'm doing 12 minutes of HIIT at the moment as my cardio 3 times a week, post upper days. Now, the changes that I made was just to intensity. Again, understanding like the idea is to get fitter, but also to use as another tool towards a calorie deficit. So I really turned the notch up on my cardio this week. I went from doing level 4 and 8 of HIIT, 1 minute on, 1 minute, or 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow, to level 6 and 12. And no word of a lie, I was fucking wrecked. But you can see just from a slight manipulation there, like I haven't changed my food once over the past 4 weeks, and I'm not going to this week. And you can see by just implementing some cardio and allowing that to run, not getting overexcited. Yes, okay, like I want to make change and I want to still continue to progress, but I'm in no specific rush. And if you're somebody as an individual who is looking to achieve a goal, and yeah, okay, you've got 6 weeks to do it. The reality is you probably won't achieve it in 6 weeks without some serious strategy in play and some hard work. But if you're somebody who is going through a fat loss phase for the summer, even in prep, to be fair, like if you give yourself enough time and allow yourself to really exhaust every single variable, which is something that we always promote with, or we always implement with our clients. Yes, manipulating and titrating and adjusting as we go, of course, but be in a position where those changes can actually materialize. You're in a position where you can really, really elongate any phase-specific goal. And you may say, well, why would I want to elongate a phase-specific goal like fat loss? Well, the reality is if you do, you probably won't have to punish yourself quite as much as you think. And again, I haven't changed my food once. I think I'm eating over 600 to 700 grams of carbs. It's a little bit different from over 1,000, but like my food's in a very, very good spot. I am hungry for every meal, but I'm not fucking chomping at the bit. I'm not starving. But I'm also in a position where I'm able to make small manipulations to like my expenditure, for example, not even time-wise, just intensity-wise. And I'm still able to continue to chip away at my weight. And to be fair, that weight loss would have been better, but because Mads has been doing so well in her competitions, I thought it was only right that I pay myself back with a Nando's. No, obviously, Mads has been competing and absolutely smashing it for the past 2 weeks. Overall champ yesterday at Two Bros, which was fucking incredible, in the wellness category. And then last week she absolutely donned GBO and Miss Fitness event as well in the wellness category and won the amateur class and the pro class at wellness. So she's just fucking on fire at the moment. And again, it's nice to be able to celebrate that. The reality is, like, when we're in prep, like, I don't have refeeds and off-plan meals and things like that because I'll be doing that on my own and we do this together. So I just crack on with my food. Plus, it's not a bad position to be in when you're eating 600, 700, 800, 900 grams of carbs a day. So yeah, I've had a Nando's every week, which has been lovely. So thanks to Mads for winning her shows, so we can justify having one. She wouldn't have one if not. Like, I'd be like, right, babe, come on, like, you've worked really hard. Like, let's go and have a Nando's. She'd be like, fuck you, I'm going to the Stairmaster. I'd be like, okay, I'll go and make you chicken and broccoli. But yeah, so in terms of this week, plan of action, not to overcomplicate anything, we're 0.75 down, or 0.74 down this week, which is absolutely fantastic. Like, it's been a shit week from a mental standpoint, but a very positive week in terms of just sticking with the job at hand, being patient, understanding that, like, you are going to have down days, you are going to have down weeks potentially, but if you eat your food, you do your cardio, you do your fucking training, like, you can still make progress. And at this very moment in time, I'm living proof of that. And if you're very, very good and your other half just smashes wellness classes for fun, then you could probably get yourself a Nando's just to sneak a celebration there. So this week, guys, we're going to be sticking with the current plan, continuing to sort of keep that elevation of intensity for cardio, and just roll forward from there. What I have done, guys, also, as promised on my story, I have sorted out and gone through Mads's check-in for this week and given everyone a bit of a debrief in terms of what's brought her this far. She's 15 kilos down in her prep so far, so absolutely fucking smashing it. And she is, or was, as of her stage weight yesterday, I think 10 kilos above her last stage weight, last time she stood on stage as bikini, 18 months ago. So, like, if you want an update in terms of how we've got there, what protocols we're running at the moment, and then how we're moving forward in the progressing throughout the rest of the season, please go and have a watch. That'll be over on her page. It will also be on the Raw Coaching page, which will be collaborated with this page. But yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. If you've got any questions, want to understand, to be fair, if anybody wants to go through a sort of fat loss phase and really maximise what they're doing at this very moment in time and how to do so, how to manage those variables responsibly, not get overexcited or over emotional, thinking change after change after change after change after change has to be made to be able to progress, and you need those sort of those variables in line to get you in the best possible position, then please drop me a message. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about how I do it, how we do it at Raw Coaching, and how fundamentally we can help you achieve your goals. But DM's always open, guys. Mads' DMs are as well. But I hope you all have had an amazing weekend and have a fantastic rest of the evening. But much love to you all. Have a good one. Peace.